Zhang is the President and Chief Economist at Pinpoint Asset Management.
This is an important government initiative, and I think there probably will be more specific policy measures to follow. And I think the e-commerce players, the major players, they are listening to the government's policy guidelines very carefully nowadays. And so there will be a particular reaction to those policies down the road. I think, for instance, one area the government has been saying repeatedly is they want to promote imports to balance trade with Europe, with US. Now, I think there probably will be particular measures that e-commerce platforms will help to import more from major trading partners.
So what's it going to mean for international companies who are wanting to enter the Chinese market?
Yeah, I think this is, I think on the margin also positive for the international players. I think the global large manufacturers, I think they already have pretty good market access in China. What's important, I think, going forward is China probably provide better market access to even relatively smaller players, medium-sized enterprises, and broaden the scope of imports. I think on that front, the e-commerce platforms can probably do a lot more.
Okay, we've talked about the Chinese players, we've talked about international contenders. Well, what about shoppers, the consumers, you and me? Because there are still some things holding shoppers back, aren't there, from e-commerce? How do these guidelines foster trust amongst consumers?
Yeah, I think on both fronts, from a European consumer's perspective, I think this kind of guideline would help to enhance the credibility of the Chinese exports, particularly small, medium-sized enterprises selling from China to European consumers, to ensure that the quality and safety of these products can be regulated, right? Can be examined carefully. And so on that front, I think this is one step forward. And then the other side of it is the imports from Europe to China. I think that front, I think there's a lot can be done. I think the Chinese consumers probably have not that much. I think the market access issue is definitely holding some of the Chinese consumers back, particularly for, again, medium and small size enterprises exporting from Europe to China. So hopefully down the road there will be specific measures that helping those European exports to increase their market share in China.
And what trends do you see emerging in the e-commerce sector as a result of these changes?
Yeah, I think at this stage we're still at the early stage, right? So I think the government is taking a step to address some concerns from major trading partners, including Europe. There are concerns from other major markets as well, US and some developing countries. So I think e-commerce companies will probably think about what they can do to help to address those concerns, including balancing trade, including the quality control of the products that sold on their platforms. Particularly to those developed economies that with probably higher standard. So this is, I think, is still kind of a initial stage of them taking initiatives, particularly on the import side, I would say.